Somebody was sharing something on television the other day, and he was talking about some parallels that he saw between the killing of George Floyd and the murder of Emmett Till. And it was really impactful on a lot of levels, specifically as he really kind of really brought together the injustices that happened to both men, the young man, the young boy, and the grown man. And then he was grateful that at least justice was served in the latter case. But he used a phrase in the midst of his talk, and he spoke to how each of those events were in his mind like the Big Bang, like a Big Bang for a movement. And so, when Emmett Till was murdered and his killers were acquitted, um, it erupted the civil rights movement by way of, the decision that his mother made to allow the world to see this young boy's face and see the face of hatred, that was enacted upon his physical body. And he drew that parallel to today with, the murder of George Floyd and how it sparked and was like another big bang and sparked a movement. Um, and I could appreciate that. And so I had a lot of thoughts that came as a result of what this man said. The first of which was I didn't realize that Emmett Till was born 2 years before my dad. So my dad has transitioned. He's passed away, been for a few years now. And I, it hit me a different way when I realized that this young man died before his prime, and my father lived, to give life to me and my siblings and to our children and to, to our families. And then the impact on the community that he made, in addition to just being inside the house. And so I thought about, wow, how sad and how significant it is that this young man, although his death did create an explosion, that all of the wealth that was lost in that life, how, I mean, not just the physical and financial wealth, I mean that as well, but the wealth of experience, the wealth of impact, the wealth of legacy, the wealth of children and offspring, the wealth of, being able to create and operate in your gifts. Like, all of that wealth is lost. And the same thing for all of the brothers and sisters that are dying, whether it's by hands of the police or by hands of each other. We have to find a way to stop destroying that collective wealth, because we're all connected. And so not only does this person's family lose, but we as a community lose when we allow this to continue. But that's not really the point of it. The point first was it never impacted me in the way that it did when I realized that this young man was 2 years older than my dad, who lived to past the age of 70. So a whole generation of opportunity was lost in that very moment. And then fast forwarding, I thought about, you know, Big Bang, explosion. What does it mean to explode? And in layman's terms, basically it's, where you get this energy up to the point to where the temperature and the pressure are high enough to where the molecules have to expand and combust. And so in the midst of where one thing is destroyed, something much bigger is created, something much more impactful is created. And so I want to ask you today, what are you willing to do so that you can explode into the world? What are you willing to let die in the way of habits, beliefs, ideas? Whatever it is, what are you willing to let be destroyed so that it can transition into an expansion, so that you can be as impactful as you were meant to be, that you can explode into the world and let the world feel your impact, all as a result of you putting the energy into destroying the very things that are keeping you from exploding. And so all of that was taken away from the words that that man said. And I hope that touches somebody. I hope that touches you today in a way that's really special and very near and dear to your heart. And with that being said, this is Kevin Jefferson, founder of the Forex Fam. You can find me at fmtrades.com. And that's all I got to say.